Okay, for this tutorial, we're going to be recreating the motion capture robot program. So to begin with, we're going to start with a delay, a 1-second delay. So right click and change this to 1 second. And then we're going to put in a while loop. Click on the while button. Inside the while loop, we're going to use if statements, else if statements, and an else statement to recreate the motion capture robot program. Beginning with the if statement, we're going to be programming the front sensor. So if you right click on your if block, choose the front sensor port A tab, we can select which sensor we want to be programming. Starting from the left, we count at 0. That's the left corner sensor. 1 is the middle sensor. 2 is the right corner sensor. We're working with the middle sensor today, so select the read ADC 1 choice. And then we're going to be using a less than sign. And our value we're going to start with is 800. Confirm. This is when you have reached close enough to the robot that it should be grabbing your hand. So we want to start out the commands here with an LED block showing that you have reached the center of the LEDs. So that is the 2 center lights turning on. And then we're going to have the DC block that's going to control the motor and the 2 arms moving in. Right click on this DC motor block and change both motor 1 and motor 2 to forward. That way it doesn't really matter which motor you have plugged in. And we'll go ahead and keep it at speed 9. And then we need a delay to have time for the hands to get to the center. Let's do a 1-second delay. Then we need to open up the hands again. So we need another DC motor block, this time going backwards at speed 9. And that should just be about a 1/2 second delay. We're going to put in 0.5 here. And remember, we have to have a stop command or those DC motors are just going to keep going in reverse. So one more DC block, and this says stop. Okay, so that takes care of when you've reached all the way in and the robot grabs you and then opens up its hands again. We also want to show motion being detected. So we're going to be using else if statements and slightly different values for our sensors. So here's an else if coming up after the if statement. Remember to click on the last block of the while loop to go above it. And in this else if you right click, again front sensor port A tab, select ADC 1, that's the center sensor, less than, and we'll put in 850 this time. So we're almost to close enough for it to grab us, but not quite. And to demonstrate that motion has been observed, we're going to show LED lights just outside of the center here. Another else if command. Click on the last block. Right click. Front sensor port A tab. Select ADC 1, less than, and here the value will be 900. We're going to put in a LED block. The next 2 lights out from center, so 6 and 1. And we're going to end with an else block. When nothing is being detected, no motion towards the robot. And in here, the else statement, we're going to have the LEDs on the far outside corners turned on. So number 7 and number 0. So this is your final code. Delay, while loop, an if, else if, else chain, controlling the LEDs and the DC motors. Compile it, download it, and give it a try on your robot.